Thanks, Simon. Here at Tea Tree Gully, we recognise our city's considerable natural and cultural heritage, including thousands of years of traditional ownership by the Kaurna people and more recent contributions by all who live here. We are continuing to build on this heritage by respecting and listening to each other, being receptive to new ideas and acting wisely for our current and future wellbeing of our community. We have some apologies today. Our Mayor Kevin Knight wasn't able to make it, nor Jim McClafferty or Councillor Lucas Jones. Are there any elected members here that I haven't seen yet? No? Okay. A most special welcome to all the writers and artists who have created this amazing trail. And these include, in no particular order, the Tea Tree Gully Library Writers Group, the Paddocks Writers Group, the Spec Fic Chick Writers, Carol Simmons, Off the Couch members Joe, Annette and David, Tea Tree Studios, volunteers from the gallery, Tea Tree Gully Green Army, led by Michael Snide, and our young artists, formerly known as Hive, led by Harley Dicto. So as you can see, we have a lot of community groups who have come together to create this trail. Now the idea of this trail came from our children's librarian, Benita, who is here today. She's going to wave. Yay! But she has sadly left us to go to Port Adelaide Enfield, and we miss her terribly. Benita was inspired by a story trail at Carrick Hill, and then our Nikki, who runs the gallery, suggested that we ask our community to create stories about the space. So we asked the Tea Tree Gully writers to visit here to the park and to listen to stories about European settlement from our amazing Carol Simmons from the Historical Society, and our library officer, David Brooks, who was our chief barbecue man over there, who shared stories that he'd recently learnt from a Kaurna elder who had given us a guided tour of the creek below just a few weeks before. But I'm going to leave the writer's journey there because Connie Berg is speaking next and she's going to pick up the story. Next, we asked some of our local art groups if they would like to create something to accompany the poems and the prose, and thankfully they have. Firstly, Tea Tree Studio, which is a local clay and pottery group. They created a colourful collection of insects and more about the poem Spirit Moments by C.S. Dunn. It is an amazing display, and I never knew that plastic bottles could be wind catchers, so you'll see that soon. Nancy coordinated this group. Nancy, are you here today? Or is anyone from the Tea Tree Studios? No? Oh. Tea Tree Gully Army also created a giant snail on the hill, which is the first big thing that you're going to see when you get up there. They created it from pine cones and sticks and seed pods that have been collecting for months on their travels. This team is led by Michael Snide, our horticultural officer. He's our resident poet and artist. Michael also created the Haunton Howler, which is in the creek below. And I don't think we would have done this trail without them. They have been amazing. So if someone would like to come up from that team, I've got some chocolates for you.
Hey.
Now, our young artists have spent the past month meeting at the gallery here and creating cheeky little fairies and goblins and nests and fairy doors. And they've created a very special place for children to visit fairies in their natural habitat at the top of the hill. And I'd like to thank Carly and them, but I don't think there's anyone here today because they've all gone back to school. Off the Couch is also an art group that meets at U38 Modbury. Joe has painted some gorgeous wooden possums and the birds, and Annette has painted magpies, and these are on display on the poetry banners. And David Baker has also created a work inspired by Aboriginal spears. So I'd like to thank them all, and I will visit you shortly and bring some morning tea. A few more thank yous. I roped in the gallery volunteers to assist in creating the decorations from bunting to beads. And a big thanks to the council staff, including Andrew, our arborist, Tom and his team of tree trimmers, say that 3 times, Sam and Tony for making and putting up the banners, and from my team I'd like to personally thank Penny for designing the beautiful poetry banners which are wrapped around the trees, which you'll love. Also Simon and David, who have been amazing in helping installing, painting and barbecuing. Thanks guys. Now my last big thank you is to Connie Berg, who has been indispensable in the creation of these tales. She rounded up the writers, she gently extracted the stories from them, she also compiled the fabulous booklet of stories which we'll hand out after the talk today. And a big thank you to Connie for all of your suggestions, hard work and support. So I've just got some flowers for you too. So now I'm going to hand it over to Connie to talk about the writers.
Okay. When Kelly came to our writers group and came with the concept of this trail, I knew I had to be a part of it because I have a passion for words. And I love helping writers get their words out into the world to be read and to be heard. But this was the first chance to get the words seen. And through the work of all these amazing and inspiring artists, that's what we have here today. So I'm really privileged to be a part of the groups that Kelly mentioned, but also the individual artists or writers which are listed in this book. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the effort of so many people. A special story we're going to read today is by Ida Lee, and Ida is here today. Wave your hand, Ida. There she is, way in the back. And it's called The Legend of Pine Park.
Anyway, my next person to introduce is our final speaker is Leslie Purdom from Modbury Rotary, and she has an announcement to share with you all. It's particularly a great opportunity for all the writers gathered here today.
What a wonderful story that was, and I'm going to follow on that trail, if you like. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Modbury, and our president, who was an apology this morning, is a retired high school teacher, and he has an idea for a project for our club, which is a book competition. The competition is available to all ages, and we are blessed with 4 wonderful sponsors to this competition. Firstly, to our barbecue maids here from Bendigo Bank. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you. Your very generous sponsorship. It's been wonderful. Another one of those sponsors is the Teacher Gully and District Historical Society. Caroline, thank you very much for that, your group. Another of the sponsors is the Educational Aids School Suppliers from who are located at Clovercrest. And also, of course, great sponsorship from the City of Tea Tree Gully. So thank you all. I commend this opportunity to write a book for small children. The judging of first, second and third will be done by primary school children from these local schools. We believe that having passed through the ages of 2 to 7, that those primary school children will have an appreciation of what appeals to that age group.
That is so cool.